Welcome to Life
On.
Life's
Terms with your host, Justin.
Kenny.
and Chelsey.
Woo.
Today's the topics that we're going to get into today is brain health, emotional eating, food cravings, gut health, hydrotherapy, and finding your diet. Today's the wrap-up show of diet and nutrition, but before we get into those things, Kenny's got to do a shout-out, I think.
Send it.
There you go.
Since it's always training season, what does your meal plan look like? Is keeping a healthy diet robbing from your palate and triggering unhealthy cravings?
Probably.
Keep on your A game and stop cravings at the same time with Onopoke. Onopoke is the perfect place to stuff your face with something that ties into your fitness goals. Try the miso salmon poke, spicy Thai salmon, or the albacore tuna poke on your choice of quinoa, veg, or rice. Eat healthy, eat right, eat Onopoke.
Would you like to just fuck off from this world for a little bit? If so, go to www.moderngravity.ca for $39.99. You can do so for about a month, for an hour every month. 3-month subscription to start, and that's it. So just go to www.moderngravity.ca.
Get your float on.
That's it. Those are the sponsors for the show. So how is everybody? How was your weekend?
My weekend was pretty good.
I looked at Chelsey. That's why she's talking now.
It was pretty relaxing. I actually, instead of running around all weekend, I took a lot of time to listen to podcasts and watch documentaries on Netflix and just kind of hang out at the house. It was nice. Nice change. Yeah.
You?
Mine was okay. Kind of stressful dealing with other people's bullshit.
Yeah.
I made a self-declaration last night that I will no longer give any fucks about anybody other than in my household or my mom. Anybody else, if you come with baggage, I give zero fucks.
Well, that being said,
Yeah.
I assure you, Kenny does love all of you.
Yeah, I still love you,
Yeah,
but I'm just
I
not
love
going to give a
everyone.
fuck about your shit anymore.
Exactly.
Deal with it.
Yeah. My weekend was pretty good. I didn't really do a whole hell of a lot of stuff. Did like you, hung around. That's about it.
Did you work out?
Sunday, yes. Saturday, no. Saturday was off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't.
What? Oh, yeah. You were dealing with chaos. What about you? You going to the gym?
Nope. I do yoga in my living room.
Oh, yeah, DDP style? You ever see that shit?
No.
What's it-
Diamond Dallas Page?
Oh, I thought that was
I'm not kidding
double
you.
penetration party.
Yeah, that kind of yoga.
So Diamond Dallas Page has had some pretty serious success. People who can't walk with multiple sclerosis and stuff have taken his program and they start walking.
Crazy.
Yeah,
Cool.
it's pretty nuts. Just Google, just YouTube search Diamond Dallas Page yoga, and it's crazy the testimonials that came out of that.
So I got my first personal training client.
Oh, yeah, that's great.
Yeah. I'm going to go train her tomorrow. Looking forward to that.
I bet.
Yeah. I told her since she's my first client, I'm going to spoil the shit out of her. Right? Just give her a whole bunch of good time, but as long as I could do the before and after pics and then show everybody how good I am.
Sure.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Brain health. So that was your topic, Chelsey.
Yes. Yes.
What do you got for us?
I got a few things. That was pretty much my main focus for the month. So like I mentioned in my blog, I do have epilepsy, and I'm on a couple of support groups on good old Facebook.
Yeah.
And I was kind of reaching out to other people to ask if there's any specific foods that they either enjoy, prefer, avoid, to see if there's any common factors there for people who have seizures, because epilepsy is a very broad seizure disorder, right? And I found out that ketogenics is highly, highly recommended.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's what Shane said. Shane
Yeah.
White,
Yes,
the bodybuilder.
yes, that surprised me.
Yeah, he said that when he was in school, for the second half of the school for personal training, he did the keto diet, and he said that he stopped taking notes and he just absorbed it.
Yeah. That's basically what David was saying too.
Yeah.
Like David Schmidt, when he was on the show just last week, he was reiterating the same stuff that keto, niacin, or niacin. I think it's niacin.
Niacin, I think, yeah.
Yeah, keto, niacin, and NAD stuff So NAD and maybe Elysium was beneficial towards brain health and recovery. He didn't really so much tie that up with seizures.
Right.
But he
it's brain.
basically, but he was, I think he was tying it up more in the addiction field of brain rehab, so to say. I can tell you though, the whole thing about them saying after 5 years of not using, your brain resets itself. That's totally true. Like I had some pretty serious brain damage from in my early recovery days, and from the last brain scan, I've got nothing. Even the concussed, like I've been concussed many times from fighting. That's all gone. They can't even see that.
That's really cool.
So it's almost like the brain just redid itself over that time.
See,
right?
and I could have sworn I heard somewhere that the brain is the one thing in your body that can't repair itself. I'm glad that's not true.
Well, see, the other thing, though, that I've been reading is that creatine is amazing for the brain. And I can tell you, since taking creatine, son of a bitch, man. Like, I can sit down and read in one sitting, I can read over 50, 60 pages.
Yeah, not
Without,
happening.
like, getting the whole, I need to move or whatever thing going on, right? So creatine's has done wonders for me. The only problem with it is you will retain water.
Yeah.
That's the killer.
Yeah.
Or if that's your issue, you don't want to look bloated or whatever. That's the side effect of creatine. But I'm ready to go get some fucking testy shots here pretty quick. Apparently
Oh, by the way, so I went to the doctor
Yeah.
and I'm good to go get my blood work done for everything.
Yeah.
He checked off everything.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So I have an appointment tomorrow with my physician
Nice.
to do the same thing, and I suspect that my estrogen is fucking high. So
Yeah.
If,
so if
I had to remind him. He's like, "You want your testosterone checked?" I was like, "Yeah, and my estrogen."
Yeah.
He's like, "Well, they classify the estrogen into like a group. It's like esto something."
yeah.
And he's gonna check that too.
So if that shit's high, you're getting TRT, baby. That's what happens. There's gonna be a bunch of fucking white people who were bald with big, thick fucking necks. They're all gonna look like Dana White. Like Dana White from UFC.
Yeah.
He's on TRT. Or Joe Rogan. Same shit. I mean, they're both on fucking TRT. White dudes, that's what we're all gonna look like. We're just gonna have like these big fucking necks and bald heads.
So you're saying I'm gonna go bald?
Whoa, welcome to the club, buddy.
Fuck, I really like my hair.
You just
like
embrace
if I go bald though, like I got all these.
Just embrace it, brother. Just
I've been
embrace
covering
it.
my head tattoos with my hair lately because I'm trying to look for a job. Right? And I always said, like, if I go completely bald, I'm tattooing my whole head. Fuck it.
Tattoo it.
Like
tattoo
right where my
hair.
hairline is.
Yeah, tattoo hair.
No, it won't be like hair. It'll be like pictures and shit. But yeah.
Why not? I mean, we live in the 2000s now.
Yeah, fuck
I mean, you're not cool unless you have a face tattoo, apparently.
well, I'm cool then and you guys suck.
yeah, we suck.
I mean, yeah. I was at the gym a little while ago, and I hate doing this, but it was kind of funny. So there's this guy walking around the gym who's like maybe $130,
Yeah.
but his stance was like he was 400 pounds.
He was huge.
Right,
Oh,
huge.
he had uncontrollable lat syndrome.
Yeah, exactly. And he had four tear tattoos off of his face.
Yeah.
And he also had like 30 spider web tattoos on his arm, like on his elbow. Right?
Okay.
So he's like obviously trying to rep that he's been to prison but never been to prison, because there's no fucking way you did 30 years and you have 4 fucing tears on your face.
Yeah, well, you
And
worked out 4 people. In there.
he's like fucking 22 years old. I just started laughing. I was like, "Oh my god!" And he's like pacing, hasn't lifted a fucking thing, and he's just pacing in the gym. And I'm like,
He's a bad motherfucker.
"Thank God I'm leaving this fucking place, like going on to something else, man." Because I couldn't. It's not fun watching that. As much as it's humorous, you're just like, fuck. You're gonna get knocked out by somebody in here.
So I'm reading this thing right here for brain health support supplements,
Yeah.
and this one's kind of cool. ALC or ALCAR, so acetyl L carnitine. It's an amino acid,
Yeah.
documented to improve alertness, focus, mental clarity, and mood. It works in part by creating acetylcholine, which is a major neurotransmitter responsible for learning, memory, regulating sleep, and other brain functions. Seems pretty fucking cool.
So now what I learned looking at that Elysium thing was a lot of that stuff is not allowed in Canada.
Oh, okay.
For whatever reason. So like basically what David had told me was you might want to make your own composite of it. So get your niacin, get your B3, get your B12 and almost make your own mixture. But the way how you're going to do that is go get your blood work done and see what's missing.
Right.
And then bring it up to where it's optimal. And then he said every 4 months he would encourage somebody to get their blood checked. Just so that you're not overdoing it, you're not underdoing it, depending on how much your diet has changed. So, I mean, that was off the air. Mm-hmm. I don't know if he'd put his name on it, but I don't think he would mind me sharing that with everybody. In America, I've also come to understand this, is that in America, you get anything you want. They don't give a shit like in Canada, man. Like in Canada, it's very, very, it seems to me that it's very, very representative of one government agency that says this is all you're allowed. And that's very, very disconcerting for me. Like it's pretty shitty. Like you almost have to pay a bribe to the government in order to sell supplements in Canada.
Yeah, wow.
It's pretty shitty.
I feel like that episode with David, I'm going to have to re-listen to and take notes. Like there was a lot
there
to
was
digest
a lot.
in there,
Yeah,
a lot.
Like I usually don't listen to your episodes, but I listen to Shapiro, I listen to this guy.
Yeah.
And he was fucking smart, man.
Yeah.
Like right away, I picked up like the value in that guy's brain, man, and how much he was able to provide.
And what I liked about it, so like I'm going to go here anyways, I guess. So I went and did this test that just wasn't really great for me. And Kenny and I will talk about that later on, not in this episode, but in another episode. And what he did was actually he validated a lot of stuff using science.
Okay.
So I'm not a woo-woo guy really when it comes to like diet, nutrition, and health and all that stuff. Like I can understand the value of spirituality. We talked about that earlier in the month, but I have a hard time like justifying, use these crystals for this energy and shit. Like that just doesn't, for me, it just doesn't fit. I have a hard time accepting any of that. And, so he didn't really go along that line. He went more along the line of like what your gut is doing, so on and so forth, but on a scientific place. So that made a hell of a lot more sense to me than somebody just saying, here's this shit, take it. This is for your mineral count. I'm like, fuck you. Like that's where my mind is right away. Somebody's just like, here, take this. I'm very skeptical.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, I'm the guy who's had his testicles out of his body and did not have testicular cancer. So I'm very skeptical about anybody saying anything to me in regards to my health, right? Aside from like what my blood tells me or what my body's saying about my back or whatever, right? So I really appreciated what David did. And to be honest with you, before he came in, I was ready to rip him apart. Because I thought he was, that was my intention, was because I thought he was going to come into this like this woo-woo place or this spirituality place, like about diet and health and nutrition and stuff. And he didn't.
No, I felt like I was in a biology class.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was really cool. He's
for
coming back
somebody
in.
who's like he's a health coach, right?
Yes.
Okay. Like that's a very broad spectrum.
Sure
and,
it is. Yeah.
And I didn't expect a health coach
yeah.
to fucking know as much as he did.
Well, you could tell that it was definitely his passion.
Absolutely.
You know, like there's I would say that there's a catalyst behind that made him want to learn so much, like all the stuff that he's learned, right? I mean, that's like you and I reading fucking law books because we've been charged. It's the only reason why we know what the defenses are for fucking possession for the purpose.
Yeah.
It's because we were charged with
We were
that.
sitting in a jail cell and we got a law book and we tore that shit apart.
Yeah, basically, this way we know what we're talking about, kind of, with the lawyer. Like, yeah, this is what I'm going to tell you. That's the defense. Go ahead and use that.
Yeah. Yeah.
We know the defense already, right? Yeah, David was pretty amazing. I also liked some of the stuff that he said about emotional eating, that it's okay to relapse. because it cannot be in that abstinent way.
Well, yeah, and
Yeah.
I like how he put, you don't want to feel shame.
Yeah.
And then because that's an even worse emotion
Yeah.
than what caused you to eat it in the first place.
Yeah. And then you're chasing it.
Absolutely.
Well,
I
then
had
you-
that
then you
problem
want-
this month.
Yeah, then you like look at yourself, you're in the mirror like you're a goof or a piece of
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah.
And then it's just even worse because then what happens after that when you fucking hate yourself,
Sure.
right? That's
100%.
dangerous. That's a dangerous place to be.
And then I think also if there's any time that I've ever quit, like I've ever quit going to the gym, that's the reason for it. Because you start seeing no gains and you're like, fuck this. Like, why am I doing this? I just want to eat chocolate. Like, I'm fucking done with this.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that hatred talk is no good. No, thank you. Don't really want that.
Don't bring that up
I just
in front of
handed
me.
him an O. Henry. He doesn't want it.
Yeah. Not even a little bit. Yeah, so I agree. I agree with the premise of his emotional eating, though. It made a lot of sense to me. I mean, what's her face? Laura was like, she was of abstinent mind. Just don't have it.
Yeah.
Learn to love. The good shit is loving yourself. But David was in the same place as that as well.
Yeah.
I mean, David was like, you got to learn that like these foods are good for you and this is loving yourself. And if you eat a cookie or two, it's not a big deal.
Yeah. Well, after Laura said that, I was like, oh my God, I'm getting rid of all the chocolate in my house because I eat a chocolate bar every single day. And I just cut it like cold turkey. I was like, no more chocolate garbage. And then the next day I was like, fuck.
I need
Like,
some
I
choc-
need a chocolate bar. This
So,
sucks.
I like
And
how David
I couldn't
said-
get any because my daughter was in bed. And then I was even angrier because I was stuck in a house without chocolate.
I like
I
how
was like, I have a problem.
David bring that up. He's like, if you're craving chocolate, you're either low in serotonin or magnesium.
Yes,
Yeah.
I like that he said that.
It's
Yeah.
like, boom. Now I know why I crave chocolate.
Yeah. Yeah. I remember I was saying too in previous episodes, what I was looking for was to learn about myself. Because
Yeah.
that's the place that I'm at now.
Yeah.
It's not about like, what's the defense? Fuck defense. I have to learn what my body's doing. Like it's the same thing with alcoholism, right? When you can accept the fact that you're never going to metabolize alcohol like a normal person again because you've crossed the line or you're born that way, whatever you want to accept. Once you accept that, then it's like, okay, well, it's not really me anymore. It's literally an allergy. If I ingest this, I'm going to want cocaine. And when I want cocaine, I'm going to jail. Like, somebody's going to get robbed. Something's going to happen. That's like alcohol's my catalyst.
Yeah.
Right. So it's one of those things too, where when we start looking at, okay, well, I want chocolate. Maybe I need some magnesium or I need something in order to stave this off. Right.
Yeah.
So it's that self-knowledge that can really help us, but it doesn't save us. It just tells us that, because then there's also that spiritual component that we were talking about, you know, that you have to like basically say, this is too big for me, because when I'm on my knees and I'm like, I want a chocolate bar,
Yeah.
I fucking hate the world.
Why
Fuck
would you be
all.
on your knees?
That's just the way how I see it in my life. I'm like asking my higher power, God, please just fucking help me. Just this
hand,
one
hand
time.
me a chocolate bar right
Fucking no, just like take it away from me. Fuck handing me anything. Just take it away. I just don't even want to feel like this. Tell me what I need to do in order for this shit just to go away. And it happens. I mean, and that has happened for me. How effective do you think all this information that we had though over the month will be in your emotional eating? Do you think you'll actually be able to implement it?
If it's not broken, don't fix it. Well, like, here's the thing. Like, you know, old habits die hard, right? And, like, I've just gone through a huge transformation in my life. And until either something in my guts or my butthole or my esophagus or something starts fucking up on me, or if I start getting bigger and get fat, I'm not going to make too many drastic changes right now. Nothing too much at once. But I am more aware. I definitely am more aware. So like David said, you know, if you're going to cave and you're going to eat a bacon mushroom melt from Wendy's, then do it and just get over it and try not to do it again for a little while. That's what I'm just going to go off of. I'm just going to have that constant awareness now. And like, I did learn a lot. I learned quite a bit.
There's also another thought that if you eat something long enough, you're just not going to like it. So like that bacon mushroom melt, eat that for the next month. See how you feel about it after that. You probably look at it and be like, fuck that. It's like the guy who did the McDonald's
thing,
diet,
yeah.
right? He's
Yeah.
like, fuck that, right? So there's two sides of the spectrum, right?
Yeah.
How do you think you'll how easily do you think that these things that we've been given are to implement in your life, Chelsey?
Well, I bought chocolate bars last night and stocked up, so that tells you something. But I did notice that I was starting to eat a lot of fast food, and I recognized that was just pure laziness.
Yeah.
And I do feel guilty as fuck every time I stop at McDonald's on my way home. And I realized like I'm getting my daughter to eat fruits and veggies with every meal, and she's eating really healthy, and then I eat a cheeseburger next to her. Like, it just seems ridiculous to me. So I'm cutting out fast food for sure. It's easier, but I'm sticking to my chocolate.
Yeah. For myself, I don't know, man. I'm willing to try anything at this point. I mean, I'm not really one for junk food. I think because we were focusing on it this month, I like realized.
Try anything?
Well, almost anything.
Get your butthole cleaned out.
No, I probably won't do that.
Colon hydrotherapy.
Not my thing. I mean, this is the issue that you're missing. I was raped as a kid, so like
Yeah.
that kind of stuff is a little bit traumatizing for me, right? It's
Well, they let you
So,
put
like,
it in your own butthole. if you
either
want.
way, it's still an issue for me. So
But you
like,
put drugs in your butt in jail, didn't you?
no, never,
Oh, I did all the time.
never. I hired people like you to do it for me.
I wouldn't do it with anybody else's drugs. If I did, they weren't getting it back.
Well, then you weren't. You hadn't hit the bottom enough in order to take
No, man,
my payment.
I was fucking king of Turd Island in jail.
Yeah, well, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, no, that's just not a thing for me. That I don't think I'll ever go there. And that's just where I'm at.
Yeah.
Maybe other people are okay with it, but for me, that's just not a place that I really want to go to.
Yeah.
But I mean, like I said, I think over this month, the focus of junk food, like I went to and go and get a Beyond the Meat burger at A&W, right?
A veggie burger.
Yeah, I actually enjoy them.
They're good.
Are they?
Yeah, they're good.
But they're, truth be told, they're not healthy for you. Like, even when I go to like a big named, like a big box store, grocery store, they have like a garden burger. I actually like that more than a hamburger. I don't know. That's something
Yeah,
that
I like 'em, yeah.
like I've held on. Or a bean burger? Fucking A, son.
Yeah,
Black bean burger?
I make my own black bean
Yeah, they're
burgers.
fucking
good.
great.
Yeah.
You know, so like I still like that stuff from the vegan lifestyle that I lived, and I'll still eat that. I don't really like ground beef. It's not my thing. You know, if I eat meat, I like to see the whole protein in one. Like I don't like to see it all chopped up for me.
And then mushed together.
Yeah, not like that's not my thing unless it's like fake, like black beans or some shit, right? But yeah, I'm definitely on a place to try what they're saying, because the only thing I ever knew before this was a feast or famine fight diet. That's all I ever knew. So restrict yourself for 6-7 weeks and then eat whatever you want after that.
Yeah.
And so that's not obviously not healthy. You know, that's not, and then you're so dehydrated. You don't really understand what health is for your body. All you understand is the manipulation of your diet.
Yeah.
And that's like, nowhere is that ever healthy. And you're always on the precipice in your mind, like, fuck, I'm gaining weight. Fuck, I'm gaining weight. Especially, I don't give a fuck what fighter out there says that they don't. They do. 100% they do. Anybody who's in that world, that's always what you're thinking, because that's your payday. You don't make weight, you don't get paid.
Right.
You know, so that was a big thing for me. Food cravings. Who's getting food cravings? You fucking ended almost every episode saying, I'm getting hungry.
I was
Yeah.
going to say, with David, when you guys were talking about chocolate, you said chocolate so many times, and I was like, oh my God. But when...
Trigger warning.
Yeah,
It's all my fault.
There should have been a warning before that episode. Oh my goodness. Chelsey, don't listen. Yeah. That's about it. I just have such bad sugar cravings. I can say though, I've been adding
Candida.
more fruit. trying to
Stick out your tongue.
You know a trick for
Show
fruit?
me your tongue. If you have a white, like, frothy tongue, like sometimes I do. How's mine? Is it white or is it brown from coffee?
It's a little white.
So, like, I think that I have some candida growth,
Maybe I do.
which is like a gut bacteria, and it like makes you fucking crave sugar with like, it's like worse than heroin addiction. Like, you will fucking fight and die for that, to cure that craving.
Sounds about right.
A little hack I picked up with for fruit, put salt on it. It'll make it sweeter to you.
What, for real?
I'm not shitting you. Yeah. So if you're like really, really craving sugar, because I mean, fruit's all sugar.
Yeah.
Just throw a little bit of salt on that shit, eat it down, and it's, like it fucking takes it away. Yeah.
I'll have to try it.
It works. It works for sure. I've done it a couple times because I don't want to eat chocolate.
Fucking chocolate.
and it worked. How about you? Are you still craving that Wendy's bullshit that you like?
Oh, I had it yesterday.
Oh yeah, I bet you did.
Well, so they got this new thing back. It's not the original bacon mushroom melt.
Probably
but
not.
It's a mushroom burger with those like crispy onions on it.
Oh, I've
Shit.
seen a picture.
Not nearly as good as the bacon mushroom
Probably
melt.
not.
No, I was fucking disappointed.
Did you go in front of like all the fat people who were on the treadmills and just eat it in front of them like Bart Simpson did but instead he used ice cream?
No, I wouldn't do that. Come on now.
As he's got a sideways glance. I mean, that kind of pisses me off too in the gym when people are like walking in with a pizza. I've seen that a couple times now. Full fucking pizza, and they're eating it, and then they go into the weight room.
I went to like fucking World Health Club one day, and they had like customer appreciation day. They were fucking giving people free beer.
There you go.
They're like, only have 2 and don't drive out of here.
Yeah,
They're
yeah.
handing out free beers to everybody.
That seems strange to me.
That's good for the abs.
Somebody's gonna for sure get fucked with
Somebody
that one.
should have sued them.
Yeah, for sure. DUI, the whole bet.
Yeah.
Gut health. Let's go there, Kenny. What'd you learn for gut health?
Okay, so like a lot of things contribute to gut health. Like you can, stress level can fuck up your gut health. Eating the same shit over and over could fuck up your gut health. Eating a lot of sugar could fuck up your gut health. Not drinking enough water could fuck up your gut health.
Mm-hmm.
Antibiotics really fuck up your gut health.
Mm-hmm.
And like I know, like if you ever take antibiotics, you always gotta like once you're done your antibiotics, is start taking a probiotic or prebiotic.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Gut health and brain health are directly correlated.
Yeah.
That's kind of what David was saying in that episode as well.
Yeah, and
I mean,
like
he was correlating the two as well.
I know from my past experience that once I detoxed, like my ability to focus on anything got better, and my emotional stability even got better from it too.
Huh.
So I don't know. There's lots of things like high fiber foods. You want to eat high fiber to help with your gut health. Garlic and onion, shit like that helps with your gut health. Fermented food. So drink your what's it called? Kombucha.
I like kimchi more.
Like kimchi noodles.
No, like
That's what
like
I was thinking.
actual kimchi, like the fermented cabbage.
Oh.
You've never had that?
No.
Only in kimchi
Holy
noodles.
I was picturing
fuck.
little bag of noodles.
Oh my god! So we have to go down to this like Korean place that I know that has actual fresh kimchi. It's the best thing. You put that shit on beef, it's so good, so good.
And it's cabbage?
Yeah, it's fermented cabbage, but like spicy fermented cabbage. It's
Sounds good.
so fucking amazing, man. Yeah. You throw that shit on rice. Rice won't stick to you then. With a little bit of soy sauce, shit, it's all good. Yeah. I can't believe you guys have never had fucking kimchi. You being in like the joint didn't go out and look for real kimchi after.
No, I was too fucking traumed out from eating so many noodles when I was in jail.
It's got to be dried in order for it to be good. Hydrotherapy.
I really want to go again to get hydrotherapy. Like it's been.
Well, you've got your appointment like on the recording date of this show.
I have
Rose.
I have an appointment today to
Yeah.
see Rose. Yeah, so
She does it.
yeah, so like I'll be talking with her about it because it's time. I've ate enough garbage and done enough stupid shit since the last time I got it done, and actually, like, I need something to take me to the next level again, so I can like be more on top of my game in all areas of my life.
Okay.
You know, like I noticed such a huge change in my energy levels. Like I went from like lethargic and lazy and to like upbeat, let's get shit done from like sun up to sundown. Like I
Really?
had, and yeah, huge fucking changes in every
It's
aspect
crazy
of
that
my
it's
life.
that big of a difference. I believe it, I guess. Yeah.
Well, like we're one. Everything in our body is connected.
Yes,
right?
absolutely.
And like, if you like say like back in the day in like the 1400s, in like what they had for cities back then, you know, people were dying from the plague from like rats and fucking throwing shit buckets out their windows. You know, there was
Yeah,
no
gross.
sewers, and like, you know, people were dying all the time from disease. And our colon is like the sewer system for our body. So if you have a city like today's age, and all of a sudden fucking toilets stop working, sewers are all fucked up, and you know,
Well, that's India.
ugh.
That's no shit. That's India.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not kidding you.
Yeah.
I've been. Like,
Yeah.
thank God we got injections when we were young, because like that's the big reason why none of them make it over there, or very, very little of them do in third world countries.
Yeah, exactly. So that like we got to make sure our body's sewer system is working properly and is cleaned out and is not fucking backed up or leaky,
Yeah.
Yeah.
right? Because like that's pure poison. You know what I mean? If you just like stuck your hand in the toilet, pulled out a turd, and took a bite out of it,
Gross.
you're gonna get fucking sick. You know what I mean? Like you're
Well, yeah, but it's
you're pure. Well, it's the same thing. If it's leaking out of your fucking walls of your colon into your bloodstream, it's gonna fuck everything out. It's gonna fuck up your lymphatic system. It's, you know what I mean? And it's gonna poison everything.
But is that really the only way to clean your bowels?
Well, you can give yourself an enema at home, where you just like squeeze a water bag of whatever concoction you want up your butthole.
That would only go so far, right? That wouldn't.
Yeah,
clean you
well, the thing is
entirely
that
out.
the colon, like everybody's body's shaped differently, but like what you see on the posters, it's kind of shaped like a lowercase n, and but there's like a sac where your large intestine drops food into your small intestine, your
Yeah.
colon, but then there's like a sac there, and then it kind of like goes up. Well, in the holistic industry or homeopathic industry, they dub that like the pit of worms. You know?
But let's preface, this is your understanding.
Yeah, this is
Okay.
what I've been told from somebody else,
Yeah,
and this is the way
okay.
I see it and believe it. But like you can have like an overgrowth of that bacteria, of those like worms or critters or whatever the fuck they are, and they can actually start growing up into your large intestine, and they can cover all the way through right out to your butthole, and you can even have like pinworms crawling out of your butthole if you have an overgrowth of bacteria in your
Sure.
colon, right? And I know it's kind of sick fucking
Getting
shit,
the
right?
heebie-jeebies
Yeah,
over here.
it's sick fucking shit, right? Like, you want to turn me on? Let's talk poop.
So so Chelsey, what's your take on homeopathy remedies
Trying to compose myself here. Gross.
for diet and nutrition?
Homeopathy is when your body can heal itself, right? Is that what we're talking here?
Or just like organic herbs and stuff
Yeah.
like that too, right?
I believe.
So we'll say it this way.
That's a tough one.
Let's say hippy dippy shit instead of homeopathy or anything else like that. We'll just say
Yeah,
hippy dippy
okay.
stuff. I mean, that's a pretty generic
Yeah.
term, which basically means not so much Western medicine.
Yeah, it's not Western medicine.
Or
yeah.
So what's your take on that?
I can say that I'm open to it. I have been more open to it probably in the last year, and actually learning about it. Like, I'm watching Heal on Netflix. I think you talked about
Yeah,
it.
it's great.
Sick,
And,
awesome.
Yeah, I'm only about 45 minutes into it. I think it's better for preventative measures, all natural stuff. I think it depends.
Well, I
I
also
don't know. See, I'm still iffy about it all.
Well, see, and my, like, I guess one of the things that I'm starting to recognize is that getting your blood work done
Yeah.
is preemptive. As much as we here in Canada have, and I've said this many times, we lie to the doctor in order to get those tests. Like, you in Canada cannot go to a doctor and be like, just for shits and giggles, man, can you take my fucking blood?
Yeah,
like
yeah.
the likelihood of the doctor being like, yeah,
Yeah.
let's just find out. Very unlikely.
You know what, with
right?
you saying that, actually, this thing, recording that I was listening to between two doctors, it was about brain health. One of the things that they mentioned is that you can sort of have a leaky brain as well. And it's from all the inflammation in your body and the blood-brain barrier breaching. And then your brain becomes inflamed. And anyways, long story short, with the blood work done, they are saying that there's blood work that is done in research labs, but not done to humans by your doctors, that when it's done in the research lab, it can show what's happening to your brain that could have prevented maybe depression, bipolar. Like, it shows, the research lab shows this inflammation long before somebody is diagnosed with bipolar disease or depression.
And then, so to continue with that, the detriment of birth control to men. So we've seen birth control now in men for 3 generations from about 1960 to now. So Kenny and I, our generation is the 3rd generation that has had the hormonal disposition of birth control within our system. Okay. So one of the major issues with Kenny and I's generation is we have a higher proneness towards depression.
Okay.
Most men in our generation have the smallest reproductive organs that have ever been produced in our generation.
Got a small dick?
We have the majority of it. So like as you look into older generations,
They got bigger dicks.
pretty much. Then the other piece to it is that we produce less testosterone on like as a whole. So I'm not saying like Kenny and I. What I'm saying is the generation of men that we represent. So the millennials, the
Yeah.
top end of the millennials. This is an issue that we all have. Now, nobody ever really thought that if we had a testosterone boost, that depression would go away. So what you will notice off the bat, if men are working out, the likelihood of them getting depressed is less likely because we're constantly trying to push testosterone, right? So for men, when we have a testosterone drive, we're less likely to become depressed. When we start adding testosterone in our body because you can't get to the gym anymore, you're that depressed, instantly depression is gone. So we're starting to actually see a trickle effect of what birth control is passing on. Because as David and I were talking about nurture genetics, right? So like basically you have nature, you know when you're when you're born, you know how to suckle for milk. Then you're taught everything else. Like you know how to breathe, you know how to suckle, you know how to look for warmth, like all the things that babies know without you teaching them.
Right.
But babies then have to learn how to walk. They have to learn, that's all nurture stuff. So we nurture that into them.
Yeah.
But there's hereditary nurture. So for instance, you're afraid of deep water. Well, maybe a tribe that you belong to long time ago, somebody drowned and it was so detrimental to that tribe. You still carry that phobia today that's totally irrational.
Eckhart Tolle called that the pain body.
Sure. So
Yeah.
like this kind of stuff I agree with in regards to the hippy dippy stuff. Like it kind of makes sense to me because I mean I have phobias that are totally irrational. I mean I don't really like deep water. I can deal with it today, but when I was a kid I was I was deathly afraid of it for no reason. Like no reason but my own like whatever it was, right? So what I'm getting at is that whole the birth control. What's happening is it's having a trickle effect and it's continuing. And we're starting now to see more women today who cannot give birth. And it's becoming more and more within our society. Now, if you go into a culture where birth control is not allowed, like in the Middle Eastern world.
They have 28 kids.
That's right. And it's very easy, or you go to Africa, it's very easy for them to get pregnant or reproduce, right? So we're starting to see, and of course, you won't hear people come out and say that because nobody wants to go against, the big pharmaceutical companies saying that birth control is bad. But in reality, we're starting to see some pretty detrimental effects from it. And you see the capitalization of like Pfizer, who's straight up making antipsychotic pills for people left, right, and center. If you go look at the stats of Americans who are on like Adderall, it's unfucking real, man. Like it's unreal. The whole country is either smoking meth or taking pharmaceutical meth.
Yeah, Addies. Didn't you watch that documentary on Netflix?
Take your meds.
Take your pills.
Yeah. That's crazy.
That made me Jones.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I wanted some fucking Addies.
Yeah, like
to go read a book or study.
It's crazy how, and I mean, it almost seems that it's perpetuated. Somebody could get onto a, conspiratorial soapbox and say, yeah, they're trying to fuck us. And I also, so we talked about this a little bit. It wasn't in the forum, but what's your take on the tribalism of diet? Like,
well, it's completely tribalized. Like, if you go to a different country, like every country and culture has their diet is tribalized.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, like they follow suit from what they were taught by their parents, and now like shittier and shittier processed foods are coming about and ending up in these big grocery stores, and it's way cheaper, and the cost of living is going up. And wages.
Selling it to us like drugs.
Yeah,
like people get addicted to this shit, and they are selling like anything with like sugar or high fat, like a fucking drug.
I guess what I'm getting at is like Meat Eater Mike and Vegan Vanessa.
Yeah.
Like that shit fucking, because it convolutes the information that's out there.
Yeah.
It just waters it down even more. They're like, you only need to be a vegan. Fuck you. It's way more. It's way more of an identity to be that than figuring out what the fuck is good for me. Because I'll tell you, I did the David thing for 3 days, where I would sit down for a meal and I would just eat the meat, wait a half an hour and see how I felt. Great. Then I would eat the green veggies that I had on the plate. Wait a half an hour, see how I felt. Great. And I fucking wrote this down just to see if it worked.
Did you notice anything?
As soon as I got to the carbs, wanted to go to bed.
I should
And
try
that was only white carbs. Like white bready stuff,
Yeah.
no good. But if I had oatmeal, good to go. I could have oatmeal, go to the gym, didn't affect me. And I would suspect you do the same thing. Oatmeal might put you to bed.
I get the worst
No, I
farts
eat
in the
oatmeal
world
either.
from oatmeal. If I eat oatmeal, like my girlfriend will leave me.
Like, I guess what
Worst
I'm getting at is
farts.
whatever worked for me is not going to work for you.
Yeah.
And that was almost a surefire way. And the other thing that David said that blew me away was when he said, why are you eating? 15% of people in the study that he conducted were eating because they were actually hungry. The rest were either bored, they could.
Cravings.
And then the other thing is like, what dictates that you have to have lunch at noon? Why? Because everybody else is eating at noon? If you're not hungry, why are you eating at fucking noon?
Yeah.
If you're not eating when you wake up because you're not hungry, you don't have to eat. You don't have to eat
That's so
before,
true.
like, you know what I mean? Like, you don't have to eat dinner at 6 o'clock either. If you want to eat it at 10 o'clock at night because that's when you're hungry, well, fucking do it.
Yeah. I actually know someone, she lost weight by only eating like when she had a grumbly stomach. Like she
Yeah.
waited until she felt that hunger urge, and then she ate something that was healthy, didn't overindulge, and then she actually lost weight very quickly.
And then overindulging, you have to watch that too, because really your stomach should only be the size of your fist.
Yeah.
So when you're consuming, you're like, what? It's my fist. And you're like, well, yeah, that's the measurement of the body. It's like your neck is the same thing as your waist. What? I know it doesn't make
No.
any. Yeah, I shit you not. If you can take the waist of your, that's how the military does it. They'll give you a pair of pants. They'll say, put it around your neck. If it goes around your neck, it'll fit your waist.
So like
Shit you not.
your neck is half the size of your waist.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Pretty much. I mean, all my suits are tailored. They don't tell me to fucking, they don't like take a tape measure around my waist. They just put it around my neck. And they know. They just times it by 2.
Oh.
That's how they figure it out. So yeah, the only thing though that fucks it up is if like your shoulders are too big. Like for a shirt, like if your shoulders are abnormally big for your size and then your neck is all fucked up but you have a V body,
Yeah.
yeah, it kind of fucks it up then. So they go higher up. They go right underneath the jawline on your neck.
Like I've really been working on my like rear delts and front delts and my lats, and now like hardly any of my jackets fit.
Yeah, it sucks.
All
eh?
my suit jacket, like I have one suit jacket that fits.
Yeah.
Fucking throwing away a whole bunch of shit here.
No, well,
Donating it.
no, go to a tailor. They can fix it. They can.
Some of it's worth Some of it's expensive enough to do that, but some of
Yeah.
it's not that.
Tailors are cheap too. They're like $10 an hour.
Yeah.
Seriously, they're under minimum wage. You'll know why when you go and see them. Ain't nobody paying taxes in those fucking places, I'll tell you what. Anyways. Yeah, so that whole entire, like I said, you go into on social media. Have you been dealing with like the vegan Vanessa and the meat eater Mike? And how are you dealing with them? Because I've gotten huge backlash. Because I went and did a rant about how you're fat. If you're fucking fat, stop fucking eating. Go to the gym, do shit. We live in Canada. You're fucking being a detriment to the tax-paying dollar. Fucking sure, healthcare is free, but we shouldn't have to pay for you to die and all that shit. Preemptive measures means when you can't see your dick or your feet that you have to go to the gym. Go and do that, right? So I've had backlash on Twitter.
Well, I bet.
Like, I'm happy fat. No, you're not. You're dying. Like, you're not happy. Believe me, I'm fat. I'm not happy with the pain that I have. Like, it's not fun, I mean, I have a happy life, but it's not fun waking up and my back hurts. That's funny. Since I've gone gluten-free pasta, my back doesn't hurt anymore.
Maybe that's like your liver.
It's gone. No, I know where my liver is. I felt that when I was drinking. This is lower. I've been punched in the liver too. Yeah, no, since I've gone gluten-free with pasta and only eat sourdough bread, life is better.
Yeah.
Why
Yeah.
sourdough?
It's easier for me to digest apparently.
What about rye? Rye bread.
I just tried rye bread last night, felt that this morning.
Oh, really?
And
Okay.
it's that fast now.
I like rye bread.
Like it's that fast. I can feel it. But since doing like the weight, I will only change one thing now so that I know if I need to eliminate that one thing or not. So I know this is okay, this is okay, this is okay
30
now.
minutes between each one?
Yeah.
Oh, God.
It works well though. Well, it's like this though. You smash your meal together. Was it the rice? Was it the chicken?
Yeah, it makes sense.
Like, what was it?
I just scarfed my food down, though.
Yeah. And then, so that has worked. And then ask yourself, are you really hungry or are you eating for emotions? Are you
I
eating?
eat like 6 times a day, easily.
Yeah?
Oh, yeah, like every 2 hours.
How many
But I
times
don't-
do you shit a day?
I don't even shit every day.
No?
No.
Wow.
Uh-oh.
Fuck, we got to get you to the gym.
We got to get you to get some
I
colon
shit almost every
hydrotherapy.
day. I'm so glad I'm telling everybody this.
Hey, that's a real talk.
But I
This is
don't.
real talk.
Just so you guys know. No, but I don't.
Sorry for putting you on the spot there.
No, I don't care. I don't eat big meals though. Like,
Okay.
But yeah, I probably eat at least 6 a day.
I don't eat that much.
We got to get your butt cleaned out.
Yeah, I actually want. I want to, but now that you said that thing about worms, I'm scared.
No, you got to get those little fuckers out of you.
Oh my God.
They're poisoning everything.
You know what? Maybe talk to Rose.
Yeah.
And see if you can get a promo on it and
Hey, listen,
write something about
I'm
it.
going there right after we record, so if you got
Yeah.
nothing to do.
Yeah. Maybe that's, like he can talk. He's good at it.
Yeah.
I mean, we're putting her on the spot on the podcast. So Rose, please help Chelsey out. She'll probably hear this too.
Yeah.
So I think, what's the most beneficial thing that you've learned over the month? Like the big takeaway?
I don't know. The one thing that stuck with me that I went and shared with a whole bunch of people right away was, chocolate cravings are caused by a shortage of fucked up levels of serotonin or magnesium.
Mm-hmm.
That was interesting and cool, but I don't know. It really increased my overall awareness about what the food's going to do, like when you're looking at longevity or over a period of time, what it's really going to do to you.
You?
Well, personally, I want to look into some things some more because I was anti-keto, and I'm pretty sure I just did it because I know people who say that it's terrible for you and that ketosis for your body is bad. So I'm actually, especially because of my epilepsy, I would like to look into it more and learn how to do the diet properly because I know that you can do it bad and have bad effects, right?
isn't that such the shit kicker, right? We always listen to other people.
Absolutely.
And then the other kicker about it is that there, especially when it comes to diet, I think the biggest thing that I learned was how independent we need to be about it. Like, for me, it's for me.
Yeah.
It's not for you.
Yeah.
This is the process that I did. Like, I mean, it's almost like I remember prefacing at the beginning of the month, I said, I'm going to try to come up with a formula, right? Like, that's my math mind, right? If you have a formula, it doesn't matter what numbers you throw in there, you throw it in. I think David gave us a formula when he said, eat shit, wait a half an hour, and write down how you feel. Because that's how quick it's going to be for you to know if that's for you or if it's not for you. And I now know by eating meat, like the vegan diet is not for me. It's just not for me. I don't get the same energy.
I keep seeing all this shit, like all these memes and things about, the plaque buildup in our arteries from eating meat.
Yeah, me too.
It's like, here's a vegan's arteries, here's a vegetarian's arteries, and
but
here's
see,
a fucking meat eaters.
At the end of the day, we both watched What the Health.
And
that whole fucking thing was propaganda for vegan. Like, the whole thing. There was nothing. And you look at everybody that was talking in that video. You could even go on YouTube and say what the health or whatever, like the opposite end of that spectrum. And people will tell you, everybody in that fucking movie was a vegan themselves, a vegetarian. So they're propagating. They're not disseminating any information. I think one of the values that we did here was we basically tried to stay in the middle, unbiased.
Yeah.
I didn't jump in a meat camp. I didn't jump in a vegan camp. We definitely held the supermarkets over the coals and the Canadian Medical Association and the Canadian health food industry, all that shit. We fucking brought it to them. You know what I mean? It wasn't like we sat here and said, oh yeah, these people are probably pretty good. We didn't do that. And that was my problem with What the Health is that's what they did. I'm sure pig farms suck. If I could find a pig farmer that didn't have to have a commercial fucking farm, I'd buy a pig off of them. But today I don't eat pork. Don't really like it. It's more of a religious thing, but I just don't eat pork. Chicken, I try to find those meat process, like those people who produce that meat at a free range, as opposed to like buying my chicken from some conglomerate supermarket.
I loved when you guys talked about wild meat and hunting.
We didn't talk enough about it.
No, I agree.
I think next season we have to. We have to. Because that's a huge deal, man. Mm-hmm. And the problem is with guys like Kenny and I who have prohibs, it makes it very difficult for us to go and experience what that lifestyle's like.
I really want to go hunting.
We're gonna go.
I really,
You're
really
not. You're
want
not.
to.
I mean, we're working on it. We're working on it to get you out there. But of course, you can't. You can participate in the hunt by pushing meat, or by harvesting the push. But you can't. You won't actually be able to pull a trigger or shoot a bow. That's just where it's at.
He looks
Sure.
unimpressed.
Wink.
No, legally you're not.
Sure.
Yeah.
Wink.
No, you're not. It's not happening. Nobody's going to put their hunting license up. But it's true. So how long you and I had a conversation off the air about wild meat. How long have you had that in your diet?
I've grown up on wild meat.
So when your parent, I shouldn't preface it like that. So when my family couldn't get to the grocery store because they were broke, that was the first thing that we would get.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My whole dad's side of the family, they all hunt. My uncles, my dad, now my cousins that were all grown adults, right? Like everybody hunts. And if somebody doesn't get something, a deer or a moose or an elk, then everyone shares. Like everyone's freezer always has wild meat in it. I
have never lost my tag. When I was hunting, I've never lost a tag. I've always fucking filled it.
Really?
Yeah,
Nice.
always filled the tag. I would go out there like it was life or death. Like that's just and in Northern Ontario, when things got really bad, people just started, they would go into the farm, like on some guy's farm who had a pig, they fucking slaughter the pig in front of the farmer. What are you going to do? That's how broke people were. I mean, that's almost where Alberta's at right now.
Yeah.
Alberta economically the only place I've ever seen it this bad was in Northern Ontario when I left.
Just go fucking drive over somebody's barbed wire fence.
That's what they were doing.
Kill a cow, winch it into the back of the truck, fuck off.
No, they wouldn't even do that because that means that you're guilty. They would hack it up right there in the field and leave the bones and all that, and they just fucking take all the meat off of it. Just basically butcher it right there in the field. Because if you don't have the actual animal, it's not illegal. Prove it's that fucking cow
From that animal.
Yeah, prove it to me. And now, and when it's wild meat, that's how they actually do it, though. So if you get caught poaching, they take the DNA out of the bones that they found in the field, and then the DNA from the meat.
They do that?
Yeah, and they know. That's how they know. They catch you. And shit you not, a game warden, they can take your house, your truck, your trailer, everything. The freezers, everything. You thought the cops were bad? The game wardens have more authority in regards to searching and seizing.
Fish cops, eh?
The buddy, they like in Canada, it's a whole new game. And the crazy thing is nobody's hunting. So like when we started talking about mange, the only reason why mange is so bad is because nobody's out there hunting. And so now we're starting to see fawns and does and like cubs, bear cubs, and like calves all dying from mange before they even make it to anything close to adulthood. It's fucking crazy, man. Like they're just dying out. They're just dying out. And the only way to stop that is for people to go and hunt and take the weak. You know, you don't take the best. You can't do it. You're not fast enough. Try to sneak up on a fucking deer in the middle of the bush with your little bow and arrow to get close enough to take its life. It's not happening. Like they're on their game. You're going to take the deer that's fucking slow because you could probably chase it down and grab it. Like that's what you're going to take. You know, like you're not taking the best. You're not taking like the best that the bush has to offer you, right?
No, you're going to catch that inbred deer and fucking...
Not even inbred. It won't be inbred. It'll just be the old one. The one that needs to be recycled so that the new ones can procreate. The younger generation, right? We are the apex killer. We need to recognize that, I think. I think that too, like looking at vegan Vanessa.
Oh my God, you kill animals.
Man.
You're such a big piece of shit.
How do you deal with that?
They have feelings too.
Like, do you even confess to your friends that your family hunts? They know now.
Yeah, no, I'm just kidding. No, I'm pretty sure that they all know. Actually, no, you know what? I remember in elementary school, like not telling people and having friends over, and they would have like deer or moose steaks, and I tell them after, and they would pretend to gag, and they were so grossed out about it.
Oh wow!
But no, I'm proud about it. I would rather have wild meat than some factory pig or chicken. Yeah. Like I think it's sad the way those animals have to live.
Sure, 100%.
But in reality, that's the only way that everybody can eat.
Well, we are starting to see a resurgence in... See, this is the other thing, too. The government needs to take the responsibility because they actually give tax benefits to commercial farming. So, like, little farmer. We all think of the farm as, like, some family that owns a bunch of land. That's not it anymore. It's like... we can't even say companies' names on the air, obviously, but it's a company that actually owns the farm now. And so when they come up with such a yield, the government gives them a tax credit benefit. So the small farmer cannot actually compete with the big farm because they cannot produce the amount of yield that's necessary in order to get the tax credit benefit.
Yeah.
So what ends up happening is all these small family farms, this is happening in America and in Canada, they're selling out to the big commercials. And they actually become like farm managers. They're not farm owners anymore. So they're dictated to on how to produce produce everything off of the farm. Mm-hmm. The other thing that you're starting to see less and less in Canada is produce farms. It's all wheat, barley. I mean, you guys are from Alberta. Everything's wheat, barley, canola. And why is it? It's because the government gives a tax credit benefit on those fields. They don't give a tax credit benefit on fucking tomatoes. Nor do they do it. They do it on corn only because they can use it for ethanol. So we have to start looking at what the government is incentivizing for all of these farmers. And we are the ones, I mean, we talked to what's-her-face from Modern Gravity, and she wanted to do an entire show on that, on how the family farm was just being corrupted because they cannot play in the world of corporate farming. And they're selling it to the corporations now. It's all like the government has incentivized all of these big conglomerate corporations to push that kind of manufacturing of farming.
Yeah.
It's serious. Like, it's a serious issue.
Yeah, really.
And with the gun laws, like in Canada, anybody who changes their life and you have a prohib, you're fucked. Even if you go to a judge and you're like, I want to hunt though. It's a form of my life. Like, it's my livelihood. Yeah, get fucked. You fucked up when you're 20. Sorry, Yeah, you're done. There's no such thing as a return, right? Like, there's no such thing as forgiveness, really. Right in that place. And
Well, if you get a record suspension to travel, can you get a record suspension for?
no, not on a prohib, buddy.
Huh.
And they're not record suspensions anymore.
No.
They're temporary. That's what they're called. They're called temporary forgiveness. That's what it's called now.
What the fuck?
Yeah, it's been like that since. Well, that's a Stephen Harper mandate. But the Liberals never changed it. So I mean, like, it's. Like, that's just the way it is. It used to be called a temporary suspension. Now it's called a temporary forgiveness. Yeah, they've changed it all.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, what the fuck? Like, you can commit some heinous crime and say you're sorry to Jesus and get into heaven. You can't say I'm sorry to the fucking judge and go
Well, the
hunt.
government, they're like Sicilians. They'll hold you on that shit for your entire life. It's like a good wife. You fuck up once, you're paying dividends on that motherfucker until she's dead. And even then, she'll come back from the grave, haunt your ass about it again at least one more fucking time before St. Pete takes her in. It's just the way it is. I mean, that's the fact of life, I guess. Are we doing this again next season?
Yeah, I like this. This is fun.
Definitely.
I like having Chelsey on the mic.
I mean, diet and health.
Yeah, I thought we were talking about that.
Jesus Christ, Kenny.
What? What? I thought you were talking about like having diet and health next month.
No, diet and health next season.
Oh, next
Are we
season.
doing it again?
Yeah, we can learn more shit.
I think we should get hunters on.
That'd be fun.
Yeah.
Like an actual
Get some
game warden.
Fucking Ted Nugent.
Yeah. That was a good show. Shout
Yeah.
out to Ted Nugent and Joe Rogan. That was a fucking amazing show.
Yeah.
If you haven't listened to that one, you need to listen to that one.
Yeah.
Anyways, should we wrap this up? I think we should do it again too.
For sure. For sure. Here you go. Wrap it up, Chelsey.
It's yours.
What am I saying?
The bottom.
Oh, maybe not. Pass that over.
Yeah.
Hold
Cross that one thing out.
on. Yeah.
Those guys suck.
Yeah, they do. They fucked us over.
Ripped us off.
There you go. Yeah.
All right. Please subscribe and share to all your friends. Where can you find the After Show blog? At www.lifeonlifestermspodcast.com. Please become a Pride member at your soonest convenience.
We will never sell your email to anybody.
Nobody.
Never, ever. It's our secret. We just want to tell you when our shows are coming out, when the topic changes, and the blogs, these wonderful blogs that Chelsey writes.
Hey, I'll throw this out there. If you drop us your email, you'll get a discount on our t-shirts.
Not yet. Can't do that yet.
Okay, fine.
I have to edit. Have a beautiful day. Peace.
Bye.
Bye.